Oh, you just pressed play on This Week with Drunk Astrology. My name is Breitenstein. I'm your astrologer and the creator of Drunk Astrology. If you're looking for someone to make astrology make sense to you and for you, well, my friend, you have come to the right place. Here on this podcast, we discuss the weekly cosmic weather. And when we break it down, we break it down. I believe that astrology can be used as a tool to inform your daily decisions and enhance your day-to-day life. So if you're ready to have a hell of a lot of fun with astrology, make some strategic decisions, and to just keep it real, well, that journey starts right now.
And they say, why? Tell them that it's human nature. Why does he do me that way? And they say, why? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like living this way. I like loving that way.
Ooh, baby, today and this week I'm feeling soft, sweet, and spicy because we've got a week ahead of us. So I thought I'd start you off with dulcet tones, a sweeter song. Because, baby, this week, this month, if you are listening to this episode, now this is for the week of March 6th through the 12th, 2023. If you're listening to this episode and you did not listen to last week's, then I encourage you to go back and listen to last week's too. March is by far the most potent and interesting and course-correcting month. Now, that's not to say that the rest of this year doesn't have its own turning points. Remember, we haven't even had eclipses yet. But this is a humongo month in astrology and in the world. And like I said last week, one of the many things I said to you last week, you're not walking out of March the same way you walked in. Okay? Now, check in with yourself. How are you doing thus far? Because the transformation on your astrologer side has already begun. And it's not easy. We're not under easy aspects at the moment. This month is powerful in the sense that all things are kind of culminating and changing and turning. And when you're an earth sign like I am, or you're just somebody who loves, comfort, it's not exactly the most comfortable time in the sky. So, and if you're faring well, by all means, I salute you. That is absolutely wonderful. Stay in touch to the people around you. Get in tune with the people that you care about and check in with them to see how they're doing, okay? Because this is potent stuff. I have dubbed this week the week of pivotal moments. And that's for a few reasons. We've got a Virgo full moon. On the same day, we have Saturn entering Pisces for the first time since the 1990s. Okay? We have Jupiter coming to meet Chiron. And we've got the nodes direct this week. Now, for those of you that are new or aren't familiar, the nodes are these points around the moon that speak to destiny, fate, and what we're here to learn in this lifetime. Now, when the nodes normally move retrograde, aka backwards. But when they move direct, they represent days where fate comes to play. It's, you can take advantage, and this is how I like to work with the nodes when they're direct. You can take advantage of the days that they're direct, or sometimes it's only one day a month. Sometimes it's, 3 weeks out of the month. That's more rare, but these random moments where they are moving forward represent times where you can proactively work with your destiny and make a pitch, make a proposal, have a conversation. And I cover I cover this in the daily podcast subscription. So if you're not a Daily Dose of Stars subscriber, I encourage you to scroll down just at the episode page you're on right now. Just scroll down, and there is a link right there that says subscribe to a Daily Dose of Stars. It's $10 a month, daily podcast episodes. They're 2 to 4 minutes long to get you in line with the astrology of the moment. Okay? So we're going to talk about this because there's only a few days in March where we actually have the nodes direct. And this week is one of those weeks. Okay? So that's just for those of you that didn't know. But all these things combined, the week of pivotal moments, all right? As you know, full moons represent these turning points. They are culminations of a new moon 6 months prior in the same sign. So now we're jumping back to the Virgo new moon that took place on August 27th of 2022 and waxed for 2 weeks until September 10th of 22 when the Pisces full moon hit, right? So we're going back to those 2 weeks, August 27th to September 10th with this full moon. And you're going back, you're looking to see what seeds were planted then. What conversations were you having? What work were you doing? Virgo is one of the main work signs. So we're getting illuminations around our work, around our service, around our health, around our wellness. And now the full moon comes and culminates those seeds that we were planting back then. Okay, so there's a turning point. Saturn enters Pisces. Remember, for the first time since 1993 to 1996. Okay, so if you're old enough to have been around then, this is a big deal. Now, this is the first time Saturn has changed signs since 2020. Well, doesn't that year just bring about loads of trauma? Saturn, let's just break this down by planet and sign, okay, shall we? First of all, Saturn represents challenges, limitations, restrictions, boundaries. It also represents the awareness of time, karma. Not karma in the sense of, karma's a biatch, but karma in the sense of when we don't listen to I know this is what I should do, and then we don't do the should. Okay? Saturn is what I like to call that whisper of should. And it's the authority figure. This is why I call Saturn the astro dad of the zodiac. It's the authority figure. He comes in and he wants what is best for you. But oftentimes, in our experience down here as humans, we don't always move with what's best for us. We move towards primal desire. We move towards instinct, right? But like that primal instinct, we as a collective human nature, hello, ode to the song I sang in the top. Human nature acts first and thinks later or thinks never, right? And Saturn, in a karma standpoint, says, well, you can't do that because you're supposed to learn from your mistakes and set boundaries where they're needed and set boundaries within yourself. It's not an external as much as an internal influence, right? Having that sense of structure within yourself. Saturn is also foundations. It's infrastructure. So it also represents these building blocks, taking the time, hello, another Saturn keyword, taking the time to lay down your foundation, whatever that is, a foundation of a relationship, the foundation of your healing, the foundation of your work, the foundation of your health. Saturn encompasses all this and says, well, depending on where I'm going in your chart next, this is where I'm going to be teaching you how to take your time in laying down your foundation brick by brick. But we humans don't always get it right. So that's the thing about Saturn. Now, Saturn being in Aquarius since 2020, Aquarius is the sign of global communities, collectives, groups, tribes, hopes, dreams, manifestations. That's one thing. And so when you've got the planet of restriction coming into the sign of community, well, we experienced 2.5 years of a global pandemic, lockdowns. We were restricted from each other. And then what we did with that was up to us, right? Well, now the collective goes from this group, this global community-wide restriction, and now it gets way more personal. Saturn in Pisces says for the next 2.5 years, it's time to come back to our humanity. It's time to take a deep look at ourselves and get serious about our own healing. Aquarius is a sign of technology, and it's the 11th sign of the zodiac, Pisces being the 12th and final. So we are collectively coming into the end of a 29-year cycle where in 2025, when Saturn enters Aries, we have, from a Saturn standpoint, we have clicked over into the beginning of the zodiac. We're going back around all the way around again. So this is a cleanse. This is a purification process. This is a time for closure, forgiveness, releasing, letting go, but getting serious about this, right? So getting serious about our faith. And I know that faith as a capital F word, depending on who you are, depending on your belief system, can rummage up different kinds of feelings. It can evoke a different kind of emotion. But this is your chance to practice faith. I know I've shared this quite a number of times, but every day, almost every day, I shuffle cards for a daily message, just at the top of my day to just kind of say, hey, well, sometimes I ask, what's the energy around me today? Or what should my focus be today? And I use the card and reference my to-do list for the day and see if they're in alignment. If they're not, I make some adjustments. And I will say that practice has never led me wrong. Actually, the days that I don't do that, I feel like I'm a little more, I'm kind of like, not flailing, but it's like I'm kind of aimless. Even though I will have, given myself direction in some way, shape, or form, like, oh, here's 2 things that need to get done today. But it's getting in alignment with what you believe and what you do with your faith. And again, going back to the Lunar New Year, we're in the year of the water rabbit. It is yin energy, which means it's passive, it's receptive. It means that you have a rare patch of time this year. And now with Saturn moving into Pisces for 2.5 years, it's a time to get serious about doing less to receive more. Don't overexert yourself. This is a patch of time this year in particular. Saturn, of course, will go on for another 1.5 years after this year in Pisces. But this year in particular is this magical moment sandwiched between last year's Tiger year and next year's Dragon year. Both are highly, highly active energies. Tigers are on the hunt. Dragons are a whole nother energy that we don't need to get into right now. But it's yang. It's go, go, go. And here we are in between those. It's like Tiger and the Dragon years are, it's like an Oreo cookie. We're in the filling right now. We're in that water rabbit year of just being like, hey, like this is a sweet spot. Not saying that this is easy energy, but I am saying that you do have this permission. And Saturn now adds to the conversation and says, get real about it. Now, this is also, I kind of said this last week too, but I'm going to say it again. Saturn in Pisces is also no time for toxic bitches. Okay? It is a time where you got to get real about boundarying yourself from toxicity, okay? Now, that could mean, now, again, that faith-based practice comes in. What do you believe in ultimately, right? So faith comes into this component as well, but this could also be like seeing a healer or studying to become a healer yourself, seeing a therapist, going to, getting counseling. Pisces is all of these things. It also rules addiction, substance abuse. So we got to get real about these themes too, right? So we have to get real about what we need to heal. Oop! Drunk Astro sermon, mic drop. We got to get real about what we need to heal. That is right there. That's it right there. That is it. I am opening my desk and I'm going to write this down because, baby, I cannot forget this. We gotta get real, boom, about what we gotta heal. Some things you just can't prep, and you gotta let intuition flow. And that's exactly Saturn and Pisces. Get real about listening to your intuition. It's it right there. Right brain activity. Receive messages. Don't think that just seeing synchronicities in number sequences or hearing a song on the radio at just the right time or seeing an animal that invokes an emotion. Don't think that these things are just coincidence. They're not. Right? Those are messages. Those are, whether from angels, spirits, guides. You're receiving information. Don't overlook those. And lucky you, your astrologer is actually going to give all 12 signs a little idea of where this let's get real about what we need to heal energy. Because that's just how we go here at Drunk Astrology. Longtime listeners, but if you're new here, hey, welcome. Now, before we get into that, a couple news board, but this is just like really quick. We already talked about the Daily Dose subscriptions. You're going to get that. You're going to get the daily moon phases, how to work with them. Just simple things, simple things like don't grocery shop right now. You're going to end up wasting all your money. Or send that email, schedule a meeting, be adventurous today, get dressed up. And actually, when you live in sync with the moon cycles in particular, because she is our fastest moving body up there, she changes signs every 2.5 days. So when you live in sync with her, you are now just bulletproofing your dreams, you're bulletproofing your objectives, your goals. It actually, astrology is actually very left brain. I'm not even going to lie to you. The astrology component is very mathematical, it's very scientific, and it's pretty logical, to tell you the truth. Right? Now, a lot of people put other things on top of it just because, one, they don't know, or two, they're just, they're skeptics, but anyway. Once you get past symbolism or horrible horoscopes that you read in a newspaper, when you were a kid. Once you get past that and you really find the real deal, which, welcome, you're here with the real deal. It's super logical. So anyway, the daily doses are to get you in line with the sync of the planetary and the lunar. Well, the moon is one of our luminaries, but the lunar cycles and the planetary cycles, okay? That's what that is for. It is there to just boost you. It's like taking this weekly podcast and just putting it on its feet. So we covered overall themes and energies for the week here, and then we put them on their feet in the dailies. Now, we are in March, so I want to just tell you, 3.5 weeks left of the yearly reading. Then it goes away until 2024. So if you have been wanting to get your yearly reading, do the same thing I told you to do earlier. Just scroll up on the episode that you're listening to right now. Just scroll up and you're going to see a link to book a reading. And the last thing, which could be just the most important thing, is getting on the news train. You're going to get free spiritual coaching from me in your inbox, okay? And there's a lot of information that I'm going to be sharing. This isn't like spammy information, okay? I'm going to be sharing a lot of information through the news train over the next coming weeks, moving into just the rest of time, because I'm making a lot of back-end changes to the way Drunk Astrology is going to work as far as how and when you can work one-on-one with me. So the best way, because that's going to change. I'll just say that. I'm currently in the middle of the change. So I'm going to make official announcements about that once I have it all set. But the news train is going to be the best way to work hands-on with me moving forward. So I'm going to encourage you to, there's a link for that too, okay? So everything I'm telling you to do is just everything is in that link. Or in just the show notes, which all you have to do is scroll up to get to, okay? So that's what I want to say about that. Let's get into the actual horoscope for all 12 signs for Saturn entering Pisces, okay? Now, Saturn makes this shift on Tuesday, the 7th, at 5:35 a.m. Pacific. Remember, all the times I give you in this podcast are Pacific Standard Time. And again, collectively, we are coming back to our humanity. We might see a lot of people ditching social media or ditching their phones in general, just ditching their connections so that we can collectively find ourselves again. We're going from a community group think with Saturn in Aquarius. You might have found that friends fell. You might not have the same group of friends that you had back in 2020. Aquarius represents friendships too, and Saturn will reveal who and what is not right or supportive of where you are now, or what you have grown or how you've grown over the last 2.5 years. So if you experience that, I certainly did. That was part of your Saturn lesson, right? And now, as we move forward for the next 2.5 years, it's time to just kind of look if there's any residual effects from that. What needs to kind of be wrung out or cleansed out, purified, right? We're going into this water where now for the next 2.5 years, the more that you can in and around water, the better, right? The more you're going to be able to just kind of find, this is you syncing with Saturn. Anytime you feel like, oh, things are out of control, or my whole emotional landscape is just not, I feel like I'm all over the place. Water is actually going to be where you go to reset, okay? But now, going through all 12 signs, now we're going to actually be looking at how each sign can expect their lessons or their challenges, or this building block of like, okay, like, all right, this is where I need to go step by step, brick by brick. This is where I need to take my time, do my research, listen to my intuition, say like, I need a little bit more clarity here, or, well, let's talk about it. I'm going to keep going, and then I'm not going to get to the signs, because you know that I love to be thorough and I love to talk. I love to talk about all of this, so, it's kind of hard. So because we're looking at Pisces energy, we're going to start with the water signs, and then we'll go, let's go backwards. So we're going to go water, air, earth, and fire. Okay, that's the way we're going to go. So for the next 2.5 years, Saturn enters Pisces. And for the water signs, it really does represent a 2.5-year cycle about you all coming back to your own humanity, looking at what has worked, what's not working, and taking the time that is necessary to realign yourself with this new version of yourself, right? Like really meeting yourself for the next 2.5 years and aligning yourself with a direction, aligning yourself with purpose, with passion, where you want to go. Okay, this is a time where you will be asked to get real about your sense of direction. That includes travel. That includes you stepping into roles of leadership, or you just becoming the leader of your own life. Here it is. Here's your opportunity. And any kind of uphill battles or uphill moments need to be given grace, awareness, and time. Air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So water signs, that was Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. I don't know if I said that, but just in case, those are the water signs. Air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, it is about aligning yourself with the work of working with your purpose, aligning your daily actions with your purpose. Okay, it's a time where you could experience extreme moments of professional success and accolades and recognition. It's also a time to get real about a sense of balance of work hard and that play hard, or play within wellness boundaries, okay? But it is that time to really get your work life together, your financial infrastructure, get that together. And it could represent times that success comes, but now it's like, okay, get your checkbook together, right? Like checks and balances, and make sure that, are there investments? Are you saving? It's all of those things of discipline when it comes to work and finances. Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. It's all about relationships. The next 2.5 years represents this patch of time where karmic relationships come into alignment, and some are going to represent these pivotal moments where you level up over the next 2.5 years. Now, this also means that not every relationship is going to be the right relationship. Saturn says this is why you take your time. If you're entering a new relationship, whether it's personal or professional or platonic, it's that permission slip to say, all right, I'm just going to mind my instincts. I'm going to mind my willingness or my natural innate desire to give and to provide. I'm going to take my time and make sure that whoever I'm devoting my time to is worthy of my time, my love, my energy. And this could also be a time where you see that relationships already in your life take the next step. There's a level up here. There's an upgrade here. So the relationships that are withstanding and strong and supportive, well, the next building block or blocks will be laid. And then others, as we found out the last, since 2020, with Saturn in Aquarius, some relationships will fall. And if you already kind of have an idea of that, when you hear that this isn't I don't want you to be scared by that. It's just letting you know, if they're blocking your purpose, Saturn will bring them more and more to the forefront of this has got to go. This needs to change. Okay? So just keep that in mind for the earth signs. And then for the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, Saturn in Pisces is especially talking to you about getting real about what you need to heal. It is a time to get serious about loss, grief, faith, what you believe in. You all are prime signs to really explore the mystical arts, seeing a healer, seeing different types of healers, getting into crystals, getting into card readings, astrology readings, or learning about these things yourself. If you feel a call to the mystical arts in some way, shape, or form, the next 2.5 years says, go for it. Take your time. Find a school, find courses, find workshops, and get in there and learn more about this. Tap more into your intuition. This is a time where your home front, your financial stability and emotional stability, even more so, are all up now, and it's all saying, okay, we need a strong foundation of healing here. And that comes with just, like I said earlier, the faith-based practice. Do you wake up every day and just kind of do you meditate? Do you do yoga? What gets your mind right? What aligns mind, body, and spirit? Fire signs, that's your domain now for the next 2.5 years. Okay? So that's that. That's our Saturn in Pisces pivotal moment. Now let's talk about the moons really fast. And of course, daily dosers, you'll get a more detailed daily breakdown of what the moon is doing. But this week, we have the moon in Virgo Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And the moon will switch out of Virgo into Libra at 6:44 a.m. Pacific. Then we have the moon in Libra all of Wednesday, most of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and the moon switches into Scorpio at 4:06 p.m. So from Friday afternoon, Saturday, all the way till just before midnight on Sunday, the moon is now will be in Scorpio. As far as the planets go, we have the sun making a sextile to Uranus Monday the 6th at 5:42 a.m. This is exciting motion forward. It could make you a little nervous. It could be a little uncomfortable, but there is a sense of excitement that comes with that. On Tuesday, of course, we've already talked about it. We've got Saturn entering Pisces, but we also have, same day, the Virgo full moon at 4:40 a.m. at 16 degrees, 40 minutes of Virgo. You're going to find 16 degrees in your chart. Clients of mine, you should have your chart. You can reference that, look for Virgo in planets and house placement, and see if you have anything on or near 16 degrees, because that is where this full moon is going to culminate. Shooting all the way to the weekend, we don't have any planetary action Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I am looking at this as Tuesday is a very potent day. We are getting a little bit of a breath Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to refamiliarize ourselves or try to get acquainted with this new energy. It's potent. It's not going to just clear up in 3 days. I just want you to know that. But then when we get to the weekend, we have this sense of awe and adventure. And that is because we have big aspects. We've got a Venus sextile Mars on Saturday at 7 o'clock in the morning. That is relationships. That's like literally get out and about, be adventurous. Adding to that, we have a Mercury sextile Uranus. So again, Mercury's in Pisces, Uranus is in Taurus. These sextiles are like energetic, moving forward. We have a Jupiter-Chiron conjunction. I want to draw your attention back to last Friday, March 3rd, where Venus had her conjunction to Chiron. Venus and Jupiter are the benefic planets. Their influence is mostly positive. Coming to meet with Chiron, the wounded healer. This is deep emotional exploration, right? Now, yours truly had a huge emotional... a big emotional moment, emotional breakthrough of sorts with that Venus-Chiron conjunction. So you can kind of get an idea of what Saturday's Jupiter-Chiron conjunction, what that can look like or feel like. As it is mostly positive, but it is working with deep emotional attachments and wounds and traumas and triggers and all kinds of things. So just keep that in mind. And then Sunday, so I would just say this, the weekend is a great time to just be an adventurer, be spontaneous, okay? Don't just hang back on the weekend, go get out, just get out, okay? And then is there anything on Sunday? No, nothing on Sunday. So that's it. again, it's the week of pivotal moments. Keep that in mind. Go slow. Take your time. And remember, we are now being called back to our humanity. Okay? So there you go. Enjoy your week. I'll see you in your inbox. I'll see you on social media. And have a wonderful week. See you next time. This is Graham Breitenstein, and you've been listening to This Week with Drunk Astrology. If you want to follow Drunk Astrology, head to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and hit that follow button. And if you want to learn how to put astrology in motion for you, head to drunkastro.com and get on the insider list. If you haven't already, subscribe, rate, and review this podcast on Apple, Spotify, and Google platforms. Tune in next week for yet another opportunity to work in sync with the stars. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.